gotta get this bottle open. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. The weather is nice wherever I am. It's a bit chilly, but we are going to have another session. A really brief one, really, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna hold you today because, I got stuff to do. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, as I bring you another session, quick session. As you can see, Raila Odinga, Texas. Thank you for the like, whoever that is. Um, as you can see, the title says Raila Odinga takes his conmanship to another level. Raila Odinga takes his conmanship to another level. This is another level. Thank you so much, Katende. Nice seeing you, my brother, an ardent follower of this channel. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. The first order of business, you know what time it is. Just Katende is showing. Please, guys, immediately come in. If this is your first time, just go ahead and like the button. Hit that like button, that is. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, comment, do all that good stuff. Share it on your political WhatsApp groups and social media and all that, okay? I want to speak briefly about the press release by none other than first order of business is to like and share. Absolutely, Homugendi. Yes, Katenda, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, guys, so you had that, like Katenda said, keep like that button, press that like button. But yeah, I just want to mention something about Raila Odinga's press conference in Mombasa today. Apparently, he flew to Mombasa and, I had to laugh. Raila Odinga is, at this point, he is being funny. This is beyond ridiculous. Like, it's beyond ridiculous. This guy is entertaining. To me, he is entertaining. Like, the level of conmanship is just out of this world. Let's just review. This guy, just like in 2017, before 2017, 2017 elections, okay? We went to the elections and we know what happened with all Maraga, mentioning about, the election did not meet the threshold, the constitutional threshold, where, it wasn't verifiable, it wasn't transparent. And so he said that this thing is null and void. So we were to have another re-election, okay? But before the re-election, we were supposed to have the IBC become constituted, okay? Which means Wafula Chebukati at the time, rest in peace, was supposed to resign, and we were supposed to have another IBC, but that did not happen. We know what happened on the 26th of October, 2017. Uhuru Kenyatta declared himself the president of Kenya illegally, okay, after running by himself. And we know what happened after that. The ODM side plus NASA went to the streets and were protesting. And actually, Raila was declared the people's president, okay? Yes, you're right. The level of desperacy is unbelievable. Yes, you're right, Katenda, you're right. And after Raila was declared the president, okay, the people's president, of course, Uhuru Kenyatta did not have any legitimacy. But again, Raila went behind the people, betrayed the people in an act of perfidy, perfidious act. He went and shook hands with the very person who was gunning down the youth who were valiantly protesting against Kenyatta's presidency, and Baby Pendo, and Sanders' death, and everybody else, okay? People like the video, ladies and gentlemen. I see 7 people like the video. I only see 1 like. Come on, I need to see 7 likes over here. Come on, hit that like button. So anyway, that was the first act of Raila Odinga's betraying his supporters, okay? He went against every supporter and shook hands with none other than Uhuru Kenyatta, the person who was gunning down his supporters. And once he got into that handshake government, Raila Odinga, from 2018 up to 2022, He never mentioned, not even once, justice for baby Pendo, justice for Msando, justice for baby Mora, and the hundreds, if not thousands, of his followers who were gunned down thanks to Uhuru Kenyatta, Matiang'i, and the whole illegitimate, brutal regime at the time. He never mentioned that after the handshake. He never even mentioned any corruption cases. In fact, he sanitized the people like Anne Waiguru, who is said to be Uhuru Kenyatta's side piece at the time. I don't know if they're still seeing each other. But I'm saying, once Raila Odinga got into the handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta was now clean. He never cared about the justice of baby Pendo. He never mentioned it. He never mentioned about the Eurobond, the SGR, all the baby Pendo, baby Mora, the post-election police brutality and extrajudicial killing by the regime of the day, Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. He never mentioned anything about that. Up until 2022, where he was facing Ruto in the general election, okay? Same thing happened. Ruto becomes the president and he tells his supporters again, go to the streets, tuendeni maandamano, after the Supreme Court actually declared that his case was null and void, not null and void, but was hot air because the evidence was overwhelming that he lost fair and square. But in a true regular Raila fashion, he told his supporters to go out to the streets and protest. And we already know what's happening in Nyalenda, Kondele, the brutal nature in which those youths were killed, okay? Raila never even said anything about it. Actually, he just pretended. He got to Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo, and they held a vigil at Karen, okay? The atrocities happened in Nyalenda, but Raila summoned his demonic friends, Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta, who also had killed his supporters few years earlier, along with Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua, and they held a vigil at Karen, not in Nyalenda where the atrocities actually happened. Okay? Now, after he got into the broad-based government, before he got to the broad-based government, there was the Gen Z. There was the Gen Zs who went to the streets and were brutally gunned down, abducted by the Ruto regime, the current Ruto regime, okay? Raila never really mentioned anything. He mentioned something here and there after the public outcry. But after he shook hands with Ruto and agreed to go to AU, he never really mentioned the atrocities that were committed by President William Samoei Ruto, okay? He never really mentioned anything. He never talked about it. His focus was what? African Union chairperson position. And he was given the allegedly 13 billion or 30, was it 13 or 30, whatever the case is, okay? So once he got that money and he was heading to AU, his focus was never the justice for those young folks, those Gen Z who valiantly went to the streets and occupied the parliament. He forgot about them. His focus was AU, okay? He never cared about justice for these young folks who were out there, okay? So we went to the AU and the AU elections happened and he lost. He did not get the seat, the African Union chairperson position. He lost to the Eritrean candidate as predicted. And here he is, he's back. Went and gave Ruto a huge high five and they signed something, an agreement or whatever the case at the State House in Mombasa. Then flew to Kisumu and told us that he will give us a huge announcement. He'll give a huge announcement on Tuesday, the day after tomorrow. Okay? Which I'm not holding my breath, but I guess his followers are still, if he still has any followers, is going to give us the way forward, so to speak, okay? But meanwhile, he said he'll give some consultative talks a chance. So he went to Migori, Homa Bay, then went to Busia, and now back to Mombasa. So now that he lost the AU, after Ruto gave him 13 billion, budget of 13 billion, now he's in Mombasa. He flew back to Mombasa. I wonder why he didn't go to Mount Kenya to have his consultative meetings with Mount Kenya leaders. If he's national leader, he should go to every part of Kenya and consult with Mount Kenya region, Rift Valley, Coast, Northeastern, Western. Well, he went to Western, to be fair, okay? He should be doing that. But he only went to Luo Nyanza, his base, then went to Busia, which is Western, and now he's back to Mombasa, okay? So here he is today after he has lost the AU election. He comes back, and surprise, surprise. Remember, I predicted this in my previous videos. I predicted that he's gonna come back and start his whole shebang again, pretend that he's against Ruto again. Because remember, he's preparing us. He was preparing us for a fake beef with Ruto. He'll act like he is now against Ruto. Now he's pretending that, today, actually a few minutes ago, a few hours ago that is, he came out and was holding a press conference besides that criminal governor of Mombasa. And he was telling us that, gharama ya maisha, all of a sudden, the first person that should be held accountable, absolutely Katende. I agree with you. He should be held responsible. So all of a sudden, Raila Odinga, he remembered, you know what? We actually have some problem in Kenya. I'm laughing because it's beyond ridiculous. All of a sudden, he holds a press conference in Mombasa and reminds us that Kenya, we have high commodity prices, high gharama ya maisha iko juu. All of a sudden, he is championing the justice for the young folks that were gunned down by Ruto's regime. They should be compensated. They should be recognized. All of a sudden, Raila Odinga cares about the issues that Mama Mboga cares about. All of a sudden. A few weeks ago, while he was still running on AU, he never cared about that. Once Ruto gave him that 13 billion, he never cared. He never mentioned once all that stuff. But all of a sudden now he wants to remind us that, you know what? I'm upset about this abduction thing. This problem of abduction is a problem. Gharama ya maisha is a problem. All of a sudden he... Listen, this is beyond ridiculous. I'm telling you, Kenyans, we need to be serious about our politics. We need to be serious about our politics. I've been saying that we cannot let these people get away with this. You know what it shows me? Hi, Q. Hi, Q. How are you doing? What this shows me is that these politicians, Wamunyoro, Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, Matiangi, especially Raila in this case, they really think you're stupid as a Kenyan citizen. They really think you are really stupid. They really think you are beneath them. You're stupid. You can be lulled into just forgetting how they behave. Absolutely, Q. Yeah. It's not only an affront to Kenyans. It's utter disrespect. It's like they really think you're stupid. Like this guy, when he was running for AU, he never really mentioned anything about the gharama ya maisha. He never mentioned anything about, the atrocities that happened to the Gen Zs. Yeah, absolutely. All these political animals, they are insulting our intelligence. Yes, they are insulting our intelligence. They even think we don't have intelligence. They look at us as cows. Junet even referred to ODM followers as cows. This is what they think of you. This is how they think of you. Like seriously, Raila Odinga came out like Let me ask you this. I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this, okay? Dear listener, or whoever is watching, I want you to think about this. What informed Raila Odinga to go out there in Mombasa to give a press conference and tell the Kenyan people that he does worry about abductions, he does worry about gharama ya maisha, he does worry about the extrajudicial killings, he does worry about justice for those who fell a victim to these abductions and the extrajudicial killings, he does worry about corruption that he himself has presided over, not only in the handshake government, also in the broad-based government. Corruption is still going on with this broad-based government, which Raila is part of. But all of a sudden, what informed Raila Odinga? What moved him to go out there to speak about this publicly today? What made him do that? Why didn't he talk about that before he went to AU? Why didn't he talk about that before he went to the broad-based government? Because he's part of the broad-based government. Why didn't he tell Ruto, listen, before I give you this panel of experts, Wakinambadi and all this stuff, the useless people who joined the broad-based government, why didn't he tell Ruto, you know what, Ruto? I can only give you this panel of experts to join your government if you will stop the extrajudicial killing, if you help bring the gharama ya maisha chini, if you stop these abductions, if you stop corruption, then I will offer you this panel of experts to help you in your government so you can improve and provide for Kenyans, provide services to Kenyans and protect Kenyans. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he do that? I want you to think about that. That's what I want you to think about as a listener. I see 10 people here. Please, I need 10 more likes. 10 more likes. Hit that like button. Just ask yourself that. Because I want to go down to this Raila's level. Hit the like button, guys. I need 10 more likes. Okay? No, listen. I just want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I want us to. This is why I want you to think about how insulting this Raila press conference is, how insulting it is. Why would he go out there and all of a sudden, after losing his AU seat, come out, okay? Hold on, not even that. Forget about AU. When he was giving that press conference in Homa Bay, whatever the case, and he was talking about Gatuzi, remember that speech that Selassie was mocking him about? On that day, why didn't Raila mention that he's bothered by the corruption in this government? Why didn't he mention? Hello, Pritipal Kaur. Why didn't he mention? Please like the video. Guys, I need 10 more likes. Hit me with that like button. Please hit that like button. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Now, that's what I'm saying. That's essentially what I'm saying. What moved him to hold a press conference on this particular day, to go to Mombasa 2 days before his grand announcement? Why did he feel the need to tell the Kenyan people that all of a sudden he does worry about abductions in Kenya, he does worry about corruption, he does worry about extrajudicial killings, he does worry about, compensation to victims in the hands of this government, after signing a pact with the government that has been perpetrating these atrocities on its citizens? Do you see what I'm saying? Why? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. The level of disdain, total. Do you see what I'm saying? Am I crazy or do you see what I'm seeing? Hizo siku zote kabla alikuwa hajaenda AU, vile walienda kushikana na walianza mambo ya kunadco, wakaanza kujifanya ati gharama ya maisha inafaa in fact that nadco thing, the reason why they went to have nadco, walikuwa wanatuambia they need to have talks because they want to talk Raila Raila is going to talk to the president so walete gharama ya maisha chini, because at first they started about the election, post-election ninio nakwambia mimi Mesh saying hold on, is so saying I'm so mad about the old man, but I sleep so well knowing knowing he will retire as a co-worker of Sudi and Farouk, maybe law. Yeah. Yani, you know, in Africa Mali, it's no longer even ridiculous. It's insulting. It's insulting for him to come out and say what he said today. It's actually insulting. It's almost like he's telling Kenyans, Nini mafala. That's basically what he's saying. It's basically what he's saying. That's basically what it is. You cannot be serious. Kwa sababu mara ya kwanza vile walienda maandamano vile Martha Koome, it was 5 months after Koome akasema this is hot air. Absolutely. He thinks we value his stupidity. Absolutely. After Martha Koome said akasema mambo ya hot air, he came out and had a press conference and said that he wants something akin to the Kofi Annan Accord, Government of National Unity, right? Then wakaanza maandamano, and that maandamano wasn't successful. Then there was another maandamano which was not the ODM people, Azimio maandamano, because the talk, majority of Kenyans on X were saying, nyinyi watu Azimio mnatuharibia wakati you're wasting time and telling us about maandamano, about the election results, but the Kenyan people care much about the economy, gharama ya maisha. Absolutely, hawayuni. Eh? Kenyan people on X and everywhere else, social media, were saying they care about the gharama ya maisha and not the elections. Sasa watu wa Azimio, their next maandamano, they adopted that gharama ya maisha cry. Wakaanza kwenda maandamano ati kwa sababu ya gharama maisha. And that's when they went to that NADCO thing. And in the NADCO thing, they went to that NADCO table, sitting down, Kalonzo Musyoka being the head honcho on the ODM side, Azimio side. They did so saying that they will be discussing on how to bring the gharama ya maisha chini. You remember that? Which caption? Yes. Yeah? You see what I'm saying? Where can you like Apple? I need 5 more likes. 5 more likes, please. Shimariam like Apple. KR, hujui Mungu aki. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Walienda NADCO, remember, you know, we need to remind these people. What's that person? Medi who was Ninium. Medi who was interviewing Ichungwa needs to interview Raila Odinga. I would like to interview these people. I would like to interview Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, Matiangi. But for Raila Odinga, I would like to ask Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka and all these clowns and Martha Karua, because they were part of Azimio at that time. So now they walikuwa naenda maandamano. They went to NADCO to have this NADCO talk with the president team, Kenya Kwanza, in the name of what? In the name of kuleta gharama chini, bringing the gharama ya maisha chini. Okay? Yeah, Wangira, I don't think Wangira has Omtata's connection. I don't think so. I mean, he says so, but I don't think so. They went to this NADCO talks in the name of bringing down the Neo of living, okay? Not standard of living, but the Neo of living. Gharama ya maisha, walete chini. That was the main of that NADCO report. But when the NADCO report was concluded, in all the recommendations that were there, none of it dealt with gharama ya maisha. In fact, Raila Odinga, when he was signing, before he signed the NADCO report, he mentioned, because he gave a speech, and it said that we agreed on everything except the gharama ya maisha, and we shall deal with that later, which they never dealt with. But the gharama ya maisha issue was the very reason they gave us why they were going to sit down at Bomas. And they denied that they were not sitting down to have a handshake or anything similar to government of national unity. That's what they say. But here we are, after the NADCO report was concluded and they started implementing it, because they did implement some part of it with the IBC amendment bill. That was part of the NADCO recommendations, which they have done, which was an illegality, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. I see 15 people. Can you give me 15 more likes? Okay? Okay? And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Here it's Bobby Wine that has smoked out this politician. Yes, Bobby Wine is doing a great job in Uganda. And Basiji, I hope Basiji is okay too. So mnasikia. So this guy, they told us that the NADCO discussions was about bringing the gharama ya maisha chini. But for all the talks and all the report that was prepared and the recommendations thereof, none of it addressed the high price of living, the high nenio of living, gharama ya maisha. None of it did. And Raila said so. But that was the very reason why they even met and sat at Bomas, telling us that they were meeting to talk to bring the gharama ya maisha chini, among other things. But that was the main one. But when the recommendations was made and the report was already finalized, none of it addressed gharama ya maisha. You see what I'm saying? So here we are. After the NADCO report was and they started implementing it, Raila tells us that he's going to AU. And after the AU thing is announced, Raila never mentioned anything about gharama ya maisha. In fact, it was no longer concerned. Okay? Absolutely. Karibu Brother Benson, NADCO report was pushed to cater for politician interest. Absolutely. I agree. But how did they sell it to us? Instead of telling us that this is our interest, we are just making this NADCO to cater for our interest, they told us that they were having this NADCO report in order to bring this gharama ya maisha chini. By the way, guys, Brother Benson has a channel. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, please go to his page. He has a page in YouTube. It's Brother Benson. As you can see his name up there, Brother Benson Media, BBM, okay? End up on our like and our subscribe for videos zake zote. He has very good, informative political discussions there, similar to what I do here. Every day comes in, so go subscribe in his channel too. A wonderful brother, nice seeing you. So yes, BBM, don't you say. So anyway, like I was saying, they started kutupangia kitambo. Old man clinching the AU seat was supposed to be their highest capture. It's all collapsing now. Good point, Wanjiku. Okay? So hizo ndio walituambia. They went there in telling us that the main reason is gharama maisha. But of all the recommendations and all the report that was there, gharama maisha was not addressed. Then after that, Raila told us he's going to AU. When he was telling him he was going to AU, he was never talking about compensation to compensating the what? Compensating the victims of the June 25th, the young men and women who are in New York. Okay? Never talked about that. Never even talked about gharama ya maisha. Never addressed the abduction. To be fair to him, he only mentioned it once. That prayer meeting that he had before the AU, he went to AU for the elections. He talked about abductions, but that's it. But it was never the issue that he kept on pushing on. Remember, Raila, leading up to 2017 elections versus Uhuru, he was mentioning everything that was wrong with that government. He was talking about the Eurobond. He was talking about the corruption. He was talking about, the extrajudicial killings, the whatever, all this stuff. Even when after he lost, before the handshake, he was talking about the death of Msando, Baby Pendo, Baby Mora, the people that was gunned down in Rivayala. He was really vocal about it. It was this everyday bread and butter issue. He was talking about it every day. But as soon as he got to the handshake, he never mentioned it again up mpaka 2022. The same thing. After he went and met Ruto at KICC when they were signing the IBC amendment bill, he stopped talking about all these things. Okay? Yes, it's a spiritual war. So What I'm saying is this in short. After he lost the AU seat, and we predicted it here, majority of us in this channel where we were discussing, we said it. Raila lose AU, atarudi na ataanza kujifanya, oh, gharama ya maisha iko juu, oh, kidnapping, oh, extrajudicial killing. Where was he? If he was honest and genuine about the Gen Z who died, their families being compensated after Ruto gunned them down through his deadly security forces, he would have been championing, going to the media, having press conferences every day talking about the Gen Z that were gunned down needs to be compensated. Angekuwa naweka hivyo kila siku. Thank you, Katende. Let's have 14 likes. Let's have 14 likes. Kila mtu aweke like hapo hivyo. Okay? So, that's what I'm saying. If he was truly genuine about compensation to the June 25th atrocities, their family members, okay? He would have been pushing this even before his AU shenanigans. Gharama ya maisha, if he felt that the gharama ya maisha was a problem and it was an issue that needs to be addressed, going to AU ingekuwa sio a deterrent to him from talking about it. He would have been maintaining the whole thing. Angezidi kuongea mambo ya gharama ya maisha even leading up to the AU elections. That's hiyo angemstopisha. You see what I'm saying? But this guy never mentioned anything. Now that he lost the elections, okay? Shikuwa nasema nini? I believe Raila is a curse to our country. Shikuwa nasema, imagine his priority was to hold a prayer meeting to endorse Mr. Dimples just before the AU fantastic flop. Not a word on abduction. Absolutely. So that shows you where his heart lies. His part, he worries about how we can panga watu. And our panga, at our panga. And him getting power. So you see, never mention about this. He is a selfish loser, absolutely. All these years. So today he comes out, again, I ask, what really moved him? We need to have a journalist, our kina JKL. I mean, JKL is Jeff Koinange is a useless whatever. I mean, I saw Jeff Koinange was asking Martha Karua, don't you feel hard sometimes, feel it's hard to wake up and keep on fighting for Kenyans? I mean, what kind of questions? So I can't, you cannot rely on the Kenyan media. That's why you see when Nani alienda huko media kanza kumuliza maswali huko, was it in London or somewhere? When he met a real journalist, Ichungwa looked as an absolute idiot in front of Medi. Real journalism. Unasikia? Na ile kujigamba ati lilienda Alliance or sijui wapi didn't count. Yes, Medi, whatever the case is. Yeah. When they meet real journalists, they can't take it because they mention all their mediocre actions. You see what I'm saying? And that's the kind of journalists we need. To ask Raila, what really informed you? All of a sudden, you feel the need to tell the country that you are bothered by the abductions that has been happening. You're bothered by the kidnappings. You're bothered by the fact that the state hasn't compensated family members of the young folks who were gunned down during June 25th and all this Gen Z protests that happened. And you're bothered by the gharama ya maisha. Kwani ulikuwa ujui gharama ya maisha iko juu? Leo ndio umeona they need to talk about it. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying Raila Odinga really thinks we are stupid. He really thinks you're stupid. He really thinks you're stupid. And it's not only him. It's all this political class. That's why I mentioned somebody like Martha Karua. She thinks you're stupid. Ati sasa nak imeisha sasa yeni purple people's purple bull crap. Because they think you're stupid. What a rebrand, sasa she's new. Oh, she's been fighting for Kenya. Same thing with Matiang'i, a non-criminal. Gachagua himself is a criminal who needs to be in committee today. Gachagua, Matiang'i, Karua, Raila, Uhuru, Ruto, these are criminals. Tungekuwa tunafuata ninio law as the law is in the books, these people should be in jail, under the jail. But these are the people that we are being presented to. They're rebranding themselves with new political parties and new political coalitions, and coming in and telling you, hey, we are the people who are going to defeat Ruto. Unaona? So Ruto is the new villain. Uhuru alikuanga the previous villain, now it's Ruto. Absolutely, they are not the solutions to our issues. But they're telling you, you see how they, in fact, you know, I hear people say, Ruto is the problem. And I keep on telling people, Ruto is actually not the problem. I know it's shocking. I know you're going to look at me like, you lost your mind. No, I haven't lost my mind. Ruto is not the problem. Ruto is not the problem. Ruto is the symptom of the problem. Ruto can do these atrocities. Ruto can do all these things, this corruption, kuiba pesa, and all these things. Ruto is able to do that because the system allows him to do that. The system allows him to do that. That's why I keep on telling you guys, what's the difference between Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta? Zilch, none. They're very same people. They did the same thing. Abduction, killings, extrajudicial killings, kidnapping, corruption. Same thing. There's no... Uhuru wasn't the problem. Uhuru was the symptom, a result of a corrupt system. That's what we have to get. So removing Ruto is not going to be the solution. That's why I get, especially if you're going to replace Ruto with somebody like Karua or Raila or Matiang'i, people who have been who have worked in the previous regime who are doing the very same thing Ruto is doing right now. Matiang'i worked in Uhuru's regime and was taking orders and ordering the murdering of Azimio followers. Yeah? Karua was the justice minister of Kibaki when Kibaki was raiding Kenyan Standard and beating people. Atur brothers were here, all this stuff. She's part of it. Kalonzo Musyoka was the vice president of Sijui Kibaki or whoever it is. Moi, foreign minister of Moi. They've presided over the previous oppressive regime. And so how do you expect people who have gained and become billionaires, dollar billionaires, from this very system, how do you expect them to be up there and revolutionize the system, change the system? They cannot. They cannot. That's why you see them rebranding and talking good talk leading up to elections. They're not going to change. They cannot change because they've made billions and trillions Kenyan shillings from the very system. It works for them. Why end something that works for you? Why? Why would you change something that works for you? If I'm doing a business and I'm making billions of this business, if I'm gaining from this system, why should I change it? Even if you're making me president, I'm going to continue what Ruto is saying. And all it's going to be is going to be, we'll be changing a villain. We'll be having a new villain. Ukieka Martha Karua will be the new villain. Ukieka Raila Odinga, they'll be the new villain. If you ukieka what's his name, Matiang'i will be the new villain. But everything will continue the same way. Uliona news 1.3 trillion that have been siphoned from the treasury by the government, and it can't be accounted for. We don't know where it is. There's no clear audit that has been done. Well, basically, of course, the Auditor General probably 1.3, I think it was 1.3 trillion that has been withdrawn from the treasury in the last 7 months. 1.3 trillion. In the past 7 months alone, that cannot be accounted for. That's the example that I'm talking about. So I can't stop preaching this, that, you know, you cannot put people, replace Ruto with the very people who have gained from the same system and expect a different result. Okay? You have to revolutionize the system. This corrupt system has to be revolutionized. Clean the house before you start putting in new personnel. That's why I am at the point where I cannot have a discussion with somebody who tells me Matiang'i will make a good president, or Raila will make a good president, or Karua will make a good president, or Eugene Wamalwa will make a good, or Jimmy Wanjigi will good, Morara will. This is a discussion I'm not willing to have, because you don't see the problem if you're telling me that. It's either you're not seeing the problem, or you're choosing these politicians because they come from your tribe, or you are just playing dumb. That's the reality. That's the reality. That's why I can't have this conversation with some people. Okay? But like I said, just to go back to Raila Odinga, this is an example of how they see you. They're so confident. They're so confident in their corrupt ways. They think we are so stupid to a point where they can come in tomorrow and say totally something different from what they said yesterday and expect you to forget. And you'll be buying into it. You will be buying into it. And that's how it is. And unfortunately, majority of us have started saying, oh, Raila is back. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to mention this because, you know, if you go to other channels, you'll see they concentrate much on other candidates. To them, yani, you know, sometimes I listen to them mpaka unanyamaza. To them, they're still arguing about who should take over from Ruto. Hao wanasema Ruto mpaka tolewe. Ruto is the problem. Ruto is you just take Ruto out, shida ya Kenya itaisha. That's what they tell themselves. You know? Don't get me wrong, I want Ruto out. But you can't solve the problem by replacing Ruto with another. Exactly, mpaka the system has to fall first. And the only way to find a resolution, hao akina Raila, hao akina Karua, hao akina Matiang'i, hao akina Ruto, hao akina Uhuru, they have to go to jail. They have to. Mali yao mpaka the state has to take back the hiyo pesa wameiba. That's when you'll know. That is part of cleaning up the system. Unaelewa? Part of cleaning up the system is accountability. Yes, jail first. Accountability ni kuwa umekosea na you'll pay reparations, which means kama uliiba, hiyo pesa urudishe, hiyo pesa umeiba, rudisha. So Matiang'i, ile land alichukua Ruaraka na ile corruption cases zake arudishe pesa. Gachagua ile 240 billion vile aliiba sijui akiwa DO ama PC arudishe. Raila zile pesa ameiba 13 billion ambayo Ruto alipata arudishe. Na ile kesi ya molasses na mambo mengine. Ruto hizo trillion zote ameiba arudishe. Uhuru na ile familia yake yote arudishe hizo pesa. That is called accountability. That is part of overhauling the system, the revolutionizing of the system. Until you do that, okay, you do that first. And if whoever needs to go to jail, goes to jail. Wale watu waliua waende jela. That is part of overhauling the whole system. Once you do all that and you recover all this money and all the debts, illegal debts that we took in the name of these people, Article 226.5 inasema anyone that took illegal debt is liable as an individual kulipa hiyo pesa. So a thorough audit has to happen. The historical injustices, the lands The Truth and Reconciliation Justice, whatever, Justice and Reconciliation, Eco report hapo, TRGC, JC, whatever. There's a report there. Kriegler report is there. Waki report is there. We can work on this. These things are things that we have to implement. That is part of revolutionizing the system, holding people who have done injustice on the behalf of the state. Before lete hao watu wakina Matiang'i. Matiang'i probably has businesses with Nani. He's propped up by Uhuru Kenyatta. Okay? So you think ukimweka hapo, Matiang'i, how will he revolutionize the system now he has been put there by Kenyatta? It will be basically Kenyatta ruling being the de facto ruler of Kenya. And we shall have the same things that Ruto is doing right now. So you have to think. Ndio maana mimi nikisema watu people are being excited. Oh, Gachagua is exposing Ruto. Tulijiuliza hapa. If he's really exposing Ruto, mbona Ruto hajamshika? It's a game, guys. It's a game. It's a game, and the joke is on us. So back to Raila, as I wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. This guy should be shunned. People should speak up and say, Raila, no. Thanks, but no thanks. Return to the sender. I like what Wanjala said. Huyu mzee arudi, Mama Ida ampatie mwelekeo. Si ati yeye apatie Wakenya mwelekeo. That's what it is. So anyway, folks, that's my message about Raila Odinga. This whole thing, we should not entertain such characters, such jokes in our country. It's not, listen, anyone that entertains this guy and still follows him and thinks that he'll revolutionize, he'll bring us, isn't it jokes? These are jokes. After your Tuesday to scare, there'll be nothing new. He'll probably say, I'll work with Gachagua. Or I'll work with Kalonzo. Atarudiana na Kalonzo tena, ama Musalia Mudavadi. I've heard Mudavadi, they might come back to Wadi. Just a bunch of nonsense. Merry-go-round. So we need to stop this. We need to stop this, and we need to be vocal. So, no, I'm not going to Njiru anymore. Thanks to Njiru, but no thanks. I can't do that. I'm done with that. I mean, hey, I'm cool with him, but I'm good on that. I'll stick to mine. I'll speak here and leave it at that. I'll be wasting, Siati Kobaya, but I'm good. But anyway, guys, thank you. Subscribe, share, like, comment, and do all that good stuff. And put the notification on. Get me. I'm out. Peace and blessings.